Good afternoon, my fellow rogues. This is Numerology of Kel'Thuzad, and I'm giving you guys an updated video about Subtlety rogues in the patch 5.3. An update because I found a few things that I wasn't satisfied with in the previous video. I found that my reforging wasn't correct for me, my gemming wasn't correct for me, and I want to show you the difference and why I decided to change things around. Also in this video, you'll be getting updated macros and things like focus macros. Go into key binding, and I'll see what you guys think about that. As for the entire video, I've spent a good, decent amount of time working on it, and I hope you guys enjoy it as much as, as much as I did making it. So have a nice day. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye. Okay, so I'm going to go over the macros. I'm trying to get these out of the way as quickly as possible while still explaining them the best way. So these are my arena target macros. Target arena 1, target arena 2, target arena 3, and this is my assist focus macro. If I have a friendly player as my focus, I will be targeting the player that he is targeting. So it might be useful for target callers in RPGs. Use this on your Death Knight, and you'll be able to automatically get to the target that he's trying to kill. So moving on, we have assist TC / TOTT. This macro means that I'm going to cast Tricks of the Trade on my focus, and then I'm going to target his target. So again, this is for target callers such as DKs, warriors, whatever have you. And I use these to buff my target caller so that he could do even more damage. That's the point of this macro. And at the same time, I'm still doing what I have to do by targeting his target. This is my focus Tricks of the Trade macro. You kind of need to utilize that ability. Not many people talk about this spell, and it's actually useful. It's actually a very decent buff. So please use this, utilize it. Okay, we're going to get onto the sort of big stuff. You should have premeditation binded to each of your initial opening abilities, such as Sap, Garrett, Cheap Shot, and Ambush. So basically just put /cast ambush, so on and so forth, and at the second line just put /cast premeditation. And basically you'll get those extra combo points without having to put the spell on your bar and actually click another move or press another move key. So it saves you time, saves you space, and it makes you react faster. Moving on, these are my arena macros again. Target arena 1, blind. Target arena 2, blind. Target arena 3, blind. And this is my cloak vanish macro. So if I have no modifier, such as I just press the key, so my key is 6 for that spell. So I press 6, I cloak. I press shift 6, which is my modifier, I vanish. And that's how that spell works. I have the same macros set up for my Slice and Dice and Recoup preparation, and I also have it set up for my preparation and Cloak of Shadows. So moving on, I have a Shadow Dance macro. There used to be a burst trinket and a potion involved in this macro line, but I figured that I'd rather not waste my burst specifically for that, because my burst might be used for crowd control, and if I'm just crowd controlling for that Shadow Dance, then I'm wasting my trinket. So I decided to separately bind the two. Moving on, I have my Sap Finder macro. Basically, what this does is if anything that can stealth enters my cone of vision, so I can spin around and spam this, and my cone of vision is basically the front to the diagonal, technically cone of vision that my character would have. So if something comes between that, I can see it and I can sap it. So what you do is you have this macro and you spin it around a lot, like if you're fighting a rogue. You spin around a lot so that cone is more able to pick something up. And that's how you utilize this macro. This is my last set of arena macros. I have Tricks of the Trade 1, Tricks of the Trade 2, and Tricks of the Trade 3. And this is my poison macro. So again, I will be linking all of these things and I will be putting them into the video towards the end so that you can see them. So moving on. So as for my reforging, I try to get as close to the hit cap as possible without overcompensating, and I try to also get myself expertise capped without overcompensating. My hit could use a little more work. I'm missing 16% of my attacks. My auto attacks, of course, not my special attacks. And my expertise is about 6%, but it should be closer to 5.5 try to get yourself to 5.80, maybe even 5.90 for certain races. So I try to get as close to expertise and hit capped as possible without overcompensating and losing the extra stats. So same with my gemming, I try to get more mastery. I try to keep as close to crit and mastery as I possibly can, and I try to ignore everything else. As you can see, I have a high crit chance, I have a high mastery. So these are the things that are most important for sub-rogue in this patch. So this is the scoop on reforging and gemming for us sub-rogues. In my opinion, you're going to want to have as much crit and mastery as you could possibly get. So the reason why you want to have crit in most situations is because people are able to interpret steady damage easier than they're able to interpret crit damage, because crit damage is double damage and it's quite bursty. It's harder to understand and predict, correct? So yeah, pretty much the reason why you'd want to go with crit and not haste is because crit enables you to be unpredictable. Your damage isn't predictable, so healers won't be able to just go through your steady damage, and they won't be able to interpret what's going to happen next if you have a high crit chance. Whereas with haste, they're able to understand that, and they're able to kind of monitor what you're doing. So in my opinion, you're going to want mastery and crit. Alright, so here go my add-ons. First one I have is Battleground Targets. What its use is it will give you a heads-up display of all the enemies in the BG that you are facing. And it's a kind of cluttered option for 15 to 40 mans, so I really just enable it for things like Warsong Gulch and maybe Arathi Basin for RBGs. This is going to give you a lot of detail about the enemy flag carrier, enemy healers, and enemy DPS. Moving on, we have Capping. Not exactly an important add-on, but it'll give you a quicker display of when things are going to cap in BGs. Again, a BG oriented add-on. Next is Gladiator Losa, and this will tell you everything that your opponent is using in a PvP situation, including duels. So for 40 mans, again, this is a horrible add-on. For 15 mans, it's a kind of crappy add-on. Things get very loud. Things get pretty loud, so I use it for 10 mans and World PvP mostly. So yeah, this next add-on, called Kill Shot, you can edit how you make it, and basically what it does, it announces on your screen when you kill a target, and it also says it in party chat. I'm not too extensive about this add-on, so I can't tell you how it works, but I know what it does, and those are the things that it's for. Next we have Mixed Scrolling Battle Text, and its use is to tell you the sort of damage and healing that you're giving and receiving. So as you can see, there's like very faded out damage numbers coming up from this fight that I'm having. And I have it set so what I do is in the middle, and what happens to me is on the right. So as you can see the Thunder Maw's auto attacks on the right, and all of my attacks on the center. You can edit this however you would like. Moving on, we have Nug Combo Bar. Mine is down at the bottom, and you can see the green and yellow bubbles, and that's how I decided to have my add-on work. So when I get 5 combo points, it turns from green to purple, and you can have it any preset that you would like. Next there's Omni CC, and its use is to tell you the duration of cooldowns. So I'm going to go ahead and blind this Thunder Maw. And now, where my blind would be, as you can see the blinds right here, my arena blind macro, it tells me that for 2 minutes my blind is on cooldown. So I'm going to Cloak of Shadows. You can see my cooldown on that also. So that's how this macro works, and that's the function of this macro. Next is Plate Buffs. Interesting add-on, very useful, very detailed. So its use is to tell me what's going on. I sap this guy, and then let's say I cheap shot this Thundermaw, you see it on his heads-up display. You see it over his character portrait. And that's why this is such a great add-on. Great add-on. Incredible add-on. Next is my recount. It's going to tell you the damage done for any PvP situation, PvE situation. Very general add-on. And lastly is reflex. In things like arenas, it will tell you in a heads-up display message what kind of compositions you're facing. So it's mainly for that purpose. So those are the add-ons I've got.
Give me a second, I need to get my story straight. My friends are in the bathroom getting higher than the Empire State. My lover, she's waiting for me just across the bar. My seat's been taken by some sunglasses, asking about a scar. And I know I gave it to you months ago. I know you're trying to forget, but between the drinks and subtle things, the holes in my apologies, you know, I'm trying hard to take it back. So if by the time the bar closes and you feel like falling down, I'll carry you home. Tonight, we are young, so let's set the world on fire. We can burn brighter than the sun. Tonight, we are young, so let's set the world on fire. We can burn brighter than the sun. Now I know that I'm not all that you got. I guess that I just thought maybe we could find new ways to fall apart. But our friends are back, so let's raise a toast, 'cause I found someone to carry me home tonight. We are young, so let's set the world on fire. We can burn brighter than the sun. Tonight, we are young, so let's set the world on fire. We can burn brighter than the sun.